Okay, if you don't know who I am, I'm Emily Roberts. I'm either your diamond upline or sideline. Tonight, our special guest is senior Ruby Hannah Kern. She's been on my team for quite some time, and she was a happy customer. Like, you know what happened? This business strategy that I'm about to share with you guys, this is what happened. I had to go for it. I had to ask. So what I like to challenge y'all with is get your ask in gear. Okay. I'm not swearing at you. Don't tattle on me. I'm telling you to get your ask in gear. If we don't ask, they don't know what's available to them. I've heard multiple stories this week alone of you guys working with a VIP, getting them to silver, and then a season happens in your life, or you are not available to prioritize Plexus. You're not just making effort to train them, lead them, show them the compensation plan. Okay, that happens. Hold on, my brother's now in the frame. Okay, this is going to be one of those nights. He's almost worse than my children. When you have a new VIP on your team and you're struggling, that's normal. And I think we have to set those clear expectations. But if you don't ask them or have a conversation with them about what's beyond silver, fast start silver, $200. That's great. $200 is gas and groceries, diapers. You can put it toward your mortgage or your AT&T bill, whatever. But do they know that $10,000 a month is available to them? Do they know there's ranks beyond silver? The conversations that I've had this week are, for instance, a level 1 said, Emily, I had this girl, I got her to silver, or no, she was loving her products, but I had to take a step back. I never told her about the business side of this opportunity. And when I didn't do that, I show up on social media now ready to rock and roll because she is excited about the Nike incentive and the breast cancer awareness limited time offer flavors. And she sees her newbie posting about another company. Has that ever happened to you before? Right? It kind of feels like a stab of the heart and you're like, what did I do wrong? She knows what happened. She knows where she dropped the ball. And so she proceeds to message the girl and have a great conversation. And she was like, I see you killing it over there. You're flying through their ranks. Congratulations. Did you know that Plexus offered the business opportunity as well? And that girl had no idea. She thought as a VIP customer, that was it for her. She was getting a great deal on supplements. She didn't know because the ask never happened. So tonight, I challenge you in the rest of this month. The business strategy at hand here is asking great questions so that you can receive answers. You can hear what they need. Sometimes it's so much more than a probiotic. Hannah loved our probiotic. Okay. She was doing so great. She loved our products. She would message me and tell me all the things, like overshare, right? Any of you oversharers? She would just tell me all the things. And I'm just like, yay, she's like the best customer ever. And she orders every month and that gets me qualified. And I was just like, yay, Hannah. Okay. Meanwhile, I had no idea what was going on in her life, which you will hear about in a minute. And I will never forget posting something about the business. I challenge you for the rest of this month. I challenge you to talk about the business and the possibilities. Whether you signed up 5 seconds ago or 5 years ago, celebrate where you're at, what you're hopeful for, and what's available to you. And look at the compensation plan as black and white. Okay. It's concrete. It is what it is. That is available to you. There is no limit on the earning potential here. You guys have heard me talk about this a million times that, yeah, earning $100 is why most of us start, but being able to earn $10,000 a month or more is why a lot of us stay, because of vision casting, the belief in our opportunity and what we have available to us. I think that is so cool. And we have over 10,000 people on this team who were literally asked a question. Hey, are you looking to make some extra income from home? Are you looking to supplement your income? Did you know you can earn income by referring a friend? We shared this verbiage last week. I'm going to share it again. The second a VIP trusts you with their income and they say, yes, I want to purchase, and they place that order and you get that confirmation email, send them a text, send them a voice message that says your product will arrive in 4 to 5 days. While you wait, let's think of 5 friends that you can send this text message to and give them a little one-liner, 2 sentences. Like, for instance, I tell my girls, my friend Emily has lost 26 pounds since December. I ordered the reset she mentioned. It's on sale. I start next week. Do you want to do it with me? It's a conversation starter for them. I'm helping her. We're sending voice messages. My level ones know I love to FaceTime. I won't talk on the phone like a weirdo, but I'll FaceTime and stare at you for an hour. And that's because I think asking questions and showing them what's available and just kind of spelling it out is important. I ask them and I encourage them to ask their audience. So I love that little phrase, get your ask in gear. That is one of my favorite business strategies. You can even Google that phrase, and there are other top industry experts and leadership development people and sales strategy people that literally talk about that little phrase, and they have examples of great questions to ask. I think I see it often, some examples that I see of people who ask great questions and lead with the business. I've seen Lindsay Joseph do that recently. She's a new Sapphire ambassador on our team. I've seen Vanessa McNally do that recently. She is a Ruby ambassador on our team. I see you guys leading with the business. We have great products, but nobody cares about your poop. I just hope you know that for a second. Some people might, but ultimately you got to keep them here for more than a probiotic and more than gut health and more than weight loss. And that is the hope that you can instill in them by encouraging them to show up, be brave, and to talk about what's working for them, helping them sleep. I was talking to Leah. Was I talking to you today, Leah, when I said, I want you to be Dr. Phil and I want you to solve problems for people? I think it was you. I want you to be Dr. Phil on Facebook. We are going to offer people solutions because they have problems, right? They have problems. But if you go on Facebook and talk about your problems too, that's not encouraging. That's not adding value to anybody. But if you show up and you offer a solution, then they will ask you the question. And it makes your job a lot easier, right? Because then you don't feel pressured to do all the asking. So that is my business strategy for you guys. And I feel like it sets us up perfectly to hear from our speaker tonight, Hannah Kern. Again, she was one of my happy wholesalers. The post I think that I made that caught Hannah's attention was something like, who has $39.95 and wants to be debt free? And I'll never forget, like, the comments are rolling in. I remember Hannah commented and I literally screenshot it, texted it to my husband because he was still in the Marine Corps at the time. He wasn't home. And I was like, oh my gosh, look who commented. She's my dream gamer. Hannah's going to be diamond. Like, this is fantastic. And he was like, doesn't she already order from you? I was like, yeah, but she's not doing the business. He was like, does she even know that's the thing? And sure enough, I messaged her and she literally said, Emily, I just didn't think you wanted me on your team. Like, I just didn't. I thought you were cool with me being your customer. So I'm going to turn it over to her and let her share her product story about being a happy customer, but then what led to her going all in her amazing, inspirational senior Ruby testimony. So take it away, Hannah.
I will. Thank you so much. I always think about that, like that situation, because I always get like, even 7 years later, I always get stuck on my own tracks when I'm nervous to ask the question, because I'm just automatically, like, our brains are totally wired to protect us. And so if it has uncertainty in any way, we just do the exact opposite thing that we want to do. Like, we don't ask the question, we just stay in our little comfortable bubble. But then I always think, like, I would never be a senior Ruby if I never commented or you never made that post and we never had that conversation. So grateful that you brought that up and you offered the business all the time. And that's what got me so excited, because I was the girl who would be reapplying my makeup 5 or 6 times a day, because I would knock on businesses' doors downtown Austin in my pin tight skirt with my high heels that I had blisters from and started getting bunions from, because I would be dressed up for a sales job that I absolutely hated. And I wanted to be home. There was also a post that Emily made a long time ago, and it was a funny one, but it was like a selfie and she was kind of holding the camera like up really high. And it was just a picture of her pajamas. And then her question was, I really had a hard time getting dressed for work this morning. Was it the pink fuzzy slippers or the black fuzzy slippers? And I was like, over here, like, my feet are bleeding, like, in these high heels. I want to work from home. I want her opportunity. And I just kind of waited around for the ask. So I always have to remind myself, like, how many people are on my team right now that are waiting for the ask for me. So so grateful Emily shared the opportunity with me. So I said 7 years ago, my name is Hannah Kern. Like Emily said, I am 33 years old as of last month. That's super weird to say. I am married to a really cool guy named Jake. We have married 7 years in November. We don't have any human kiddos yet, but that is part of our story. We are parents to 3 beagles. We are the crazy beagle family, and we live a little bit north of Austin in Leander. Emily said, like she said, I was a customer for a really long time. I was the girl that grew up to like despise supplements. Like my mom worked at 24-Hour Fitness for like 20 years. She had an executive position. And so we were always in the fitness and health realm, but supplements in my head were for people who didn't want to go to the gym. Like I knew nothing about them. And so without Emily sharing her story, multiple times a day, I will say, I was like, oh my gosh, this is another one of the girls, another one bites the dust. Like I had all of the hater vibe toward network marketing, toward supplementation. But it's funny, I was like thinking all these negative things, but all at the same time, I was the first to hop on her lives and watch her stories and read her post while I wasn't pooping, but maybe once a week. I was taking myself, calling my mom at 8 a.m. on a Saturday, driving myself to urgent care because I thought I was dying, but really the doctor was like, ma'am, you're just severely constipated, like go home. I had so many gut health issues and I didn't even know it was gut health related. I was also engaged and wanted to get skinny for our wedding. And I just like was a diet hopper. Like really, I just tried all the diets, all the fads, and nothing really worked for me. And finally, 5 months watching every one of Emily's posts, but not saying, commenting, or like messaging her at all about it. I think I still have that. I think it was October. Oh my gosh, this is my 8-year anniversary of choosing these products. I messaged her on Facebook and I'm like, I literally am so exhausted. Like, give me what you have. So I started with the triplex. That was the very first product or combo. And I added accelerator. Within 2 weeks, I was super regular in the bathroom. And that was like the biggest thing for me was just, I was no longer in pain or looked like I was 6 months pregnant. Like I was like, is this placebo? Like, am I really like, are these products really working for me? And then fast track, like 6 weeks in, I was so regular. I had all of this energy. I felt so good. I was not downing 4 cups of coffee to start my day or just to like at least open my email and like respond back to customers. I was feeling so good, but so different. Like as a 24-year-old, you're thinking like, how bad could you have felt, right? That's like your prime time. I truly felt like an 80-year-old woman. Like my friends were like vibrant and living their lives and healthy and eating whatever they wanted. And I was like at home at 7 p.m. after happy hour, like in bed, telling my husband to bring my dinner to bed because I was so tired all the time and couldn't put my finger on what was wrong with me. And 5 months in, I had lost 15 pounds. I was fitting into wedding dresses that I was seeing the size on the wedding dress. I had never been that size before. And I was like, is something wrong? What is happening? This is like amazing. And I felt so different and people started to notice. I kept sending all of my friends to Emily because I, number one, could not admit that I was actually using supplements. I hid all my products in my cabinet in my kitchen. So my fiance at the time could not see them because we were trying to pay for this wedding and it was very expensive. I didn't want him knowing that I was spending $100 on myself. And so I realized, wait a minute, I keep sending all these people to Emily. What if there was something in it for me? Emily keeps getting these bonuses. Like, what is Ruby? What is it? What is this gem? What are these stones that she keeps throwing up on her Facebook post? And it was month after month, like $1,000, $5,000. And then she got this Lexus. And I'm like, okay, maybe this is not a scam. Like I actually know somebody who has a car. Like, you always hear about network marketing, like, oh, this once in a lifetime person hit the top of a company. But I'm like, this is like a mom, a real chick. Why not me? I'm like bleeding in my high heels. What if I gave this a shot and I could be at home and have options? So my story started for the products, but I stayed for the options. And I was like thinking today, like, what would be my biggest takeaway for you guys? And I was thinking like, gosh, I just feel like I keep sharing my story. Everyone's heard my story. I've been talking about it for 8 years, but what is like, if I just put something on a pedestal, what would that be for me? Like, why do I love Plexus? Because it gave us so many options. And leading into us not being human parents yet, but we have been struggling with infertility for 2.5 years, and it's been really hard. So I'm not going to cry on this call, but we wouldn't have been able to do the stuff that we have been able to do without Plexus giving us an extra cushion. And we're so thankful for that. And on top of just the community and the friendships all across the globe, it's been so amazing. But the options, like some people going through fertility, and I'm on all these Facebook groups, right? You meet so many people who struggle with this. And the more you talk about it, the more you find out you're really, really not alone in this infertility world. And women have to stop trying. Like, I couldn't imagine having to put it aside and just kind of like stop wanting that. Like, how do you tell your heart to not want that, you know? So Plexus has given us options. And I think about not just like for fertility, but options like several streams of income. You know, for a long time, I worked 60 hours a week, and I still work full time as a sales rep for a software company in Austin. And I always thought, like, how in the heck? Network marketing is really for people who sit at home and do nothing because they don't want to get a real job. How am I, like, I want to work. I like working. I like having several streams of income and not going to the grocery store and only looking for the brand name or the non-brand name items, right? I want to be able to just walk into a Whole Foods because it's closer than the Walmart. And those are little options, but in the grand scheme of things, they're huge to us and my family. And we don't have to live in the city. We could go buy land and build a house on acres. We can put our future babies in private school. Like, that's always been super important to me, especially for a good foundation. I came from private school from elementary, and I know how much that just like deep rooted my faith. And so I want to pass on these options to my family. And so it's so much more than just a 3-day reset and losing 6 pounds. And that's why I feel so passionate to tell people about it. And even though sometimes I get stuck in my head, I think about to my story, like I shared earlier, about me just being a customer waiting for Emily to talk to me. And people are waiting for you to talk to them. And people need options. It might not be like 10 pounds in 3 days or Alexis, but options. And most of the time they're not talking about that, especially for someone like me. Infertility is really hard. And a lot of people don't talk about that publicly. So someone else could be struggling and having to stop a baby dream, and you could provide that for them. So that is why I'm Senior Ruby, and my goal is to go diamond, so I don't have to have a million streams of income. But right now, you could totally be Senior Ruby, working 60 hours a week, going through really hard times, going through infertility, trying to be a present and great wife, and to have a social life, and to be a Beagle mom. Like, you can do it all. You just have to be super intentional, and you have to get to work. This is not going to be handed to you. It is work. And I think that the problem that I used to experience with people on my team is like, I would stop at just get 3 friends. It's super simple. And then I wouldn't express the multitude of options for them past silver. And so now I actually have to shout out my friend Erin. She just signed up on Friday, and she's on the call tonight. She is actually in Florida in Daytona Beach and didn't have electricity. And that girl signed up for the 2 minutes that she had internet and signed up with a reset and welcome pack. And that was the first conversation that we had, was about sharing and thinking about people that she can share this with, all during a hurricane. So I'm so excited that Erin is on tonight. But all that being said, you can do this too. And I know this is the best time to do that now in Plexus. So Emily asked me to share a little bit about just the probiotics. We have, like, every Tuesday, we share testimonials, and then we have a product highlight, one of which kept me out of the emergency room. I'm so glad. Thank you, Emily, for choosing probiotic for me to chat about tonight, because it is seriously one of our we have favorite products, right? Because things taste good. Like, Active is my favorite, but the most powerful product, in my opinion, is Probio 5. This is a part of your triplex combo. This is our probiotic. It works really well when it's paired with its partner products. Probio 5 works really great by itself, but it was designed to work better together, which is why the triplex is our most sold system. So here's why. A lot of people ask, like, why can't I just go to the grocery store and buy my probiotic? I keep mine in my fridge. It's fine. Here is why ours is better. And if you keep yours in your fridge, this is probably a really good time for you to realize you probably need to try ours. So Probio 5 has 5 really awesome antifungal enzymes in it. This is what targets gut health. This is what all of our products, most of our products, are geared around, is gut health. Because a lot of the times we focus, especially in big pharma, focuses on like scraping the surface. Probio 5 gets to our root cause, which is why so many people experience such a difference, like things they haven't felt before, like, which is why I was sharing in my 20s. I felt different. I felt good before, but this was different. So Probio 5 is an antifungal probiotic that not only provides good gut bacteria, which a lot of probiotics over the counter do, it also has enzymes that target the bad and scrape the bad bacteria. So we have this fungus in us that we're all born with called Candida. And this is like super gross, but you know, like we're laid 6 feet in the ground when we die. Well, we would all still be like full, like arms and legs and bodies if we didn't have Candida, because Candida like decomposes our body when we die. So we have to have a little bit of it. But when you eat like a lot of cupcakes and you drink a lot of red wine like I do, and you've ever had an antibiotic in your entire life, preservatives in food, it makes Candida explode. And then you have this like really bad balance of good and bad. That's when you can like have leaky gut syndrome. You should Google it. It's really gross. It's when like holes become like your gut becomes permeable, meaning like a lot of holes get, you know, like spread all over your gut, meaning your feces can seep into your bloodstream. So no wonder you have a headache today. No wonder you have eczema or rashes or acne or bloat, or I couldn't poop for once a week, or you really have trouble losing weight. Like, no wonder your poop ain't where it should be. It's in parts of your body that don't need to be there. So our probiotic gets rid of that Candida. Okay, so the reason why the refrigerated one versions are bad, because whenever you eat something, it goes into your stomach and like your stomach acid attacks all the food to break it down, right? Well, the probiotics that go in the fridge, they're like very sensitive. Like they have a lot of feelings. And if you put that into your body, the second it hits warm temperature, it kills that probiotic. Like, why would you want that? You spend like all of your money on this probiotic and then you put it on your tongue and it warms up and it dies. Ours doesn't do that. It is freeze-dried probiotics. So it gets down to where it needs to go, passes through your stomach acid. It has a super strong veggie capsule that gets it where it has to go, which is so cool. I love that I'm not wasting $34.95 every month on something that's just going to die on my tongue. So that is why I love Probio 5. This is an absolute must, no matter your goals, because gut health is linked to everything in your body. So that is my little scientific-y thing. I literally had to research all this tonight and I like learned so much. So I wanted to share with y'all. I don't typically like know that much about the products, but a simple Facebook post can like teach you anything you want to know about these products. So that is what I have today.
Thank you guys. Thank you, Hannah. Y'all, do you have questions for Hannah? So Hannah's journey, she promoted quickly. And what I love about Hannah is that she was already on social media. So when I say get your ask in gear, what I mean by that is you're paying attention to those that enjoy working. They're already on social media. Because here's what happens. You go and you post about products all the time. And so you're going to have sick and tired people who sign up, and the sick and tired people aren't really necessarily ready to post on social media and show up and work hard, right? So that's why it's so important to lead with the business and ask others about the business. Did you know that this is available to you? Because if they don't, then you're building a team of sick and tired people, okay? And that's not always a bad thing. I think the sick and tired friends of ours and acquaintances and followers on Instagram and all that, they make great customers. And eventually that belief is planted and they get so excited. They want to share about this business. But then you have someone like Hannah. She grew up in a household in the fitness industry, in the gym industry, and she had that perception that supplements are for lazy people. And when in reality, supplements fill in the gaps for people doing the things, but they're surrounded by environmental factors they can't control. Or for instance, if you've ever used birth control, antibiotics, if you've ever drank alcohol, those are internal disruptors to your endocrine system, your GI tract, your neurological system. There's so many things that take place in your body when you use medicine, alcohol, all of those things. So basically, it disrupts your body's microbiome. I just like saying that word because I feel like it makes me sound really smart. But basically, your gut, the fancy word for it is your body's microbiome. And so you will see analogies like weed, seed, feed, and protect, like thinking of a garden and you're removing the weeds and the rocks and you're tilling the soil so that the flowers can grow. Your body's microbiome is the same way. And that's why you hear about the triplex, which includes ProBio 5. That is our famous signature trio. For those of you that have been here for a little while, most of you have either used it or you're probably on it right now. So that's our Pink Drink Slim. That's full of prebiotics and helps regulate your blood sugars. I call it like the body balance drink. Then you have BioCleanse, which is a great magnesium, vitamin C supplement that's full of bioflavonoids. What that means is it cleanses and detoxes the body every time you use it. And then you have ProBio 5, the good bacteria that fights candida, but also balances your microbiome. When you use those three things together, you're weeding out the bad, you are planting the good stuff, you're then seeding it. Think Miracle-Gro for the good stuff, right? That's what Slim does. And then you protect it with X Factor. That's our multivitamin. So maybe you'll hear the term the Fab Four. We're not talking about Marvel characters. We're talking about Triplex and X Factor. So those 4 products, we used to refer to them as the Fab Four. And those are probably the most foundational products that we have. And for people that have terrible digestive issues or like Hannah, bathroom problems, this is where you start them with. And sometimes you got to start slow. But did you notice we told you guys tonight, Google your symptom plus gut health. Google what you're dealing with plus gut health. We're setting those clear expectations with our customers and our new VIPs from the get-go, because when they hear words like detox, candida, leaky gut, going number 3, you know what I mean? People kind of panic and they don't want to feel bad or feel like they got to sit on the toilet for a week. And there's different things like celiac disease and Crohn's and different versions of IBS that when you start them on something like the triplex, it can upset their stomach before it gets better. So setting clear expectations about what you're putting them on and having them Google their symptoms and how gut health helps repair it, that solidifies belief instead of freaks them out. Like, we don't want to freak them out. We want to show them like, this is how you're taking care of that. You're taking the right steps. That doesn't mean you're going to lose 30 pounds in 30 days. It means you're going to protect and prevent over the next 30 days. And we have to use that language, you guys. We have to set clear expectations so that we have happy customers like Hannah that see the vision, see the opportunity. And I love that she said it wasn't about the opportunity. It was about having options because she didn't have them. And that's what we have here. And I love her story. You guys know she is a thriving senior Ruby ambassador, well on her way to Emerald, something that she's worked very hard for with her amazing team. And so I just love that. I love this story. Do you have any questions for her? Do you have questions about ProBio 5? Do you have a question about the business strategy? We have a few more minutes before we wrap this up. Some things in the chat say, I love this. I've been telling my upline that I'm having trouble finding business builders. I'm going to start asking. Margie says she has a supplement dictionary bigger than my kitchen. Jamie says triplex saved me from IBS. Sheridan said, let me just say, I never would have guessed that you Googled that. Yeah, you can Google those things. For me, it was yeast infections. And I know it's like a gross thing to talk about, but that's how doctors made me feel. They made me feel gross. They didn't provide me a solution. And I thought it was alcohol related. And then I thought it was marriage related. I see children in camera, so I'm not going to say what I'm going to say, but marriage related. And so Scott and I felt gross, and he was like, I don't know how to help you. Like, I don't know what's wrong. And for at least 3 years, I was on a steroid. And you guys know that steroids, even though they kill bacteria, they kill everything. So when you use steroids, especially those of you with like lung issues or coming off of, C19, your body is fighting to repair and be restored of that good bacteria. So using gut health supplements like the triplex is just so cool and so important and will get you back on track. And yes, those issues that I was struggling with, that is why I started secretly. Nobody knew about that for a long time. My husband was obviously one of the first people to notice that those things were gone. And I just felt clean and I felt healthy and I had no idea. So that led me down the rabbit hole of probiotics. And that's what led me to ProBio 5 and finding Holly's post on Facebook. And Holly did ask me, she asked me, hey, do this with me and make money. And I said, HE double hockey sticks, no, go away. Ew, ew, ew. And I was very mean to her. But when I saw Yvonne earn $100, my first couple days in a Facebook group that I was added to that I did not want to be in, right? All of us are like, yeah, amen. Okay. I was in this Facebook group. I see this sparkly little graphic and I'm like, $100. It didn't say access opportunity. It said $100 and her name. And I was like, what'd you do? And she said, I helped 3 people sign up. And I was like, oh, and that's why I'm here. That's why you are here. We kept asking and kept talking about this opportunity. And that's what grew our team to over 10,000 people over the last 8 years. Okay. And I know that feeling of doubt and that imposter syndrome will kick in and tell you that you can't and that you won't and that it's impossible and it only happens for few and far between. But I'm here to tell you, your girl's the few and far between. I was the last person that thought she was going to be at the top of a network marketing company. No, I did not grow up to be this. I wanted to be in broadcasting and work on the radio. All right. I wanted to be a mom. I think those are things I wrote down in my journal as a kindergartner. I don't remember, but I love stories like this. I love hearing your stories. I love seeing you post about your stories. So keep doing that. Ask great questions to build engagement. Ask your customers about sharing. Write them up something and say, I was thinking about your story. I was looking at your before and afters you've sent over. And I think we should talk about this. Let's go tell people in your audience about this. So I love you guys. Have a fantastic night. I'm going to stop this recording so it's not super